644, 700 WLW. This is Sports Talk. I'm Lance McAlister. Big day for the Cyclones. They have a new coach. Spent the last 2 years behind the bench of the Bloomington Prairie Thunder of the IHL. 19 years in professional hockey, 17 of those as a player. NHL for a number of teams. Also played for the Cyclones for, I think, 4 games back in the 92-93 season. A 5-time team captain. And, man, he played for some legendary coaches, some who's of coaches, from Herb Brooks to Ken Hitchcock, to my favorite Cincinnati Stinger of all time, Robbie Ftorek. He is your new Cincinnati Cyclones coach. Pleasure to welcome in Jarrod Skalde. Coach, how are you?
I'm doing good, Lance. Thanks a lot for having me on.
Congratulations. I appreciate your time. What a whirlwind this must be for you. And man, there's certainly a lot about this organization to like, I'm guessing.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, this is, for me, with this opportunity, I'm absolutely honored to be the next head coach of the Cincinnati Cyclones after the success this organization has achieved. And, you know, with the ownership in place and with the city and the community that's behind the team, I mean, this is one of those premier jobs in the ECHL, and I'm very thankful for this opportunity.
Coach, take us all the way back to the 92-93 season. I know it was more of a cup of coffee, I think 4 games, but what do you remember about your Cyclones experience as a player?
Oh, probably the best 4 games of my life, I think, if I remember right. It was a long time ago, but you know, it was a situation. I was with the New Jersey Devils. I made them out of training camp, and they assigned me to Cincinnati on a conditioning stint. So I came down here, and I played 4 games and went right back up to the New Jersey Devils. So it was a brief stay, a quick cup of coffee, but nonetheless, you always remember most of your stops, and I do remember my 4 games of my time here in Cincinnati, although brief.
I mentioned you were a 5-time team captain, a leader. There were things expected of you that you delivered on. Did you have in your mind all along you wanted to coach someday?
Yeah, I mean, I've always had a real passion for the game. I mean, to get to a certain level, you have to have a certain level of passion, but you know, I've always enjoyed this game so much. It's my livelihood, but also it's something that you know, just burns inside of you. And I knew as I was going along throughout my career that this was something I wanted to do, was getting into coaching. And again, was fortunate to land a job right out of playing as a head coach. And you know, to be sitting here as my 3rd year as a head coach of the Cincinnati Cyclones, it's an honor and it's a privilege. And to be part of such a successful organization. You know, I've been asked the question, you know, you've got some big shoes to fill and it's a tall task, but I think anybody would want to step into a situation that's successful as opposed to either average or below average, and expectations are not high. So I look forward to the challenge, and I'm motivated by the challenge.
Coach, do you know Chuck Weber? Did you talk to him about this job?
Absolutely. Chuck and I won a championship in Orlando as well. I was a player.
The Solar Bears, right?
The Solar Bears, yeah. We actually played the Cyclones in the first round. I think they took us to 6 games. And, you know, so Chuck and I have won together. We've kept in touch over the years, and I've bounced some ideas off him and vice versa over the last few years from a coaching standpoint. And when he knew he was getting the opportunity to move on, he'd asked me if I had interest. And, of course, I've talked to Ray. I went through the interview process, and when I got that call from Ray Harris that, you know, offered me this position, I couldn't be more thrilled for myself, my family. And, you know, we're just really excited to be in part of this community and, you know, keep the train going on the tracks and hopefully improve some areas. But generally, you know, to be part of an organization that the bar and expectations are that high is something that you thrive for.
You certainly played for some legendary coaches. One of them, of course, familiar to most would be Herb Brooks, who coached the 1980 U.S. Olympic Do You Believe in Miracles team. What was it like playing for him? What do you draw from him in what you do now?
You know, Herb was a guy that, you know, when you read the stories about him, and a lot of the older people that remember the 80 Miracle, and a lot more maybe a younger generation watching the movie, that was exactly like Herb, pushing guys mentally, physically. In pro hockey, he had to back off a little bit from, it's a longer season, you're dealing with men, but I mean, mentally he challenged you every day, and that's something that, you know, you want to keep guys sharp, and Herb definitely kept you on your toes. Robbie Ftorek, to me, was one of the best coaches, hockey minds I've ever been associated with, and Robbie was a tremendous player and is an absolutely tremendous coach, and you know, he sees the game differently than a lot of people, but I really was fortunate. My first year with Herb, my second year with Robbie Fatorik. So, those are foundations you build with, and you don't forget a lot of that stuff, and that stuff's built in your memory. And I draw from my experiences from those guys and many other great coaches that I had.
Coach, before I let you run, I got to say, I think the coolest thing on this press release that Nick Brunker sent out today was the fact you have 2 children, a 12-year-old daughter, and your 7-year-old son is named Skate.
And
that's awesome.
When you meet him, the name fits the little guy. I tell you what, he's a hockey nut. He was sizing up the locker room today, wondering where his stall was going to be, and he's just he loves it. And when my wife, we talked about naming him Skate. I was a little apprehensive, and she came up with the idea. But now I'm glad we named him Skate. And when like I said, when you meet him, he's a little. It fits him.
Wow, my very next question was going to be, did you have to win the argument with your wife to get that? But it was her idea.
It was her
wow.
idea. It wasn't me for it. And I was thankful we didn't know what we were going to have with our first child, whether it was going to be a boy or a girl. And she wanted to name if it was a boy, Skate then. And I was very thankful. We had a daughter named True, born in Lexington, Kentucky, when I was with the Thoroughblades. And then, of course, 5 years later, the topic comes up again. If we have a boy, it's going to be Skate. And as I got a little mellower, a little older, and I said, fine, just name him Skate, I guess. And I love it, and he loved it. He's been decked out in Cyclones gear for 2 days now, and he's got a new favorite team, that's for sure.
Hey, that's great. Hey, great catching up with you. Congratulations again. And I can vouch for your Director of Media Relations, Nick Brunker. He'll take care of you. He's a good young man.
I love his energy. I can't wait. I might have to tone him down on some road trips, but I tell you, I walked in his office yesterday, and I was like, man, this guy looks like he's fun to be around.
There you go. Hey, Coach, best of luck, and hope we can talk again soon.
I hope. Thanks you so much, you guys, and looking forward to seeing you down the road here.
All right, take care, Coach.
Okay, bye.
All right, Jarrod Skalde, head coach of the Cyclones. Yeah, I'm going through the press release today from Nick Brunker. You used to be here, and I'm highlighting things and this and this. I get down and it says Skalde and his wife Erin have 2 children: 12-year-old daughter True and 7-year-old son Skate. And I said, wait a minute. And 7-year-old son Skate. I said, that is outstanding. And my question was going to be to him, what was it like winning the argument with your wife to name your son Skate? And he offered up before I even said it. It was his wife's idea. That is outstanding. That is like the coolest Skate. I'd like you to meet my son Skate. He plays hockey. That is, I love that. Jarrod Skalde, congratulations, 39 years old, the 6th head coach in franchise history for the Cincinnati Cyclones. All right, your continuing reaction, the fines, the suspension. I would say suspensions, just one suspension, 7 games, and we'll deal with that through your eyes as well as we continue at Sports Talk on 700 WLW.